The spacecraft was able to capture data of Earth using a geoscience laser altimeter system known as GLASS. This animation shows the cloud data that was collected from about 15 orbital passes of the Earth in October of 2003. The single-beam glass laser fired 40 pulses a second, taking measurements every 170 meters along the satellite's track on Earth's surface. While that provided great data, NASA's ICESat2 will take advantage of new technologies providing greater data. About the time NASA's original ICESat mission ended, we began Operation Icebridge, the largest airborne survey of Earth's polar ice ever flown. It utilizes a highly specialized fleet of research aircraft and sophisticated suite of innovative science instruments to characterize annual changes in thickness of sea ice, glaciers, and ice sheets. These flights will provide annual look at the behavior of rapidly changing features of Greenland and Antarctic ice. This airborne research has been critical for ensuring a continuous series of observations of Earth's ice. All Delta missions dating back to the first Delta launch in 1960 have been numbered. Today's final Delta II launch is carrying the number 381, signifying that it is the 381st flight of the Delta family. Additionally, each rocket has had stars on it, recognizing the previous missions flown. Today's vehicle has more than 150 stars, with over 800 signatures from people who've been a part of the Delta II program. Now that you know a little bit more about the history of the Delta II and the team behind these launches, let's hear from NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine.
While I'm sorry I can't be at Vandenberg today, it is my pleasure to celebrate another exciting NASA Earth Science launch with you. The Ice, Cloud, and Land Elevation Satellite 2, or ICESat2, will measure the height of a changing Earth, one laser pulse at a time, 10,000 laser pulses a second, giving scientists unprecedented detail about the elevation of ice sheets, glaciers, sea ice, and more. One of NASA's most important missions is to utilize space to understand and explore our home planet. NASA's observations of Earth's complex environment are critical to understanding how our planet's natural resources and climate are changing. ICESat2 will detect as little as a fraction of an inch of change in the surface of land ice covering Greenland and Antarctica from year to year. That's about the width of a pencil. This data will help scientists investigate why and how much our cryosphere is changing in a warming climate. The satellite will also measure height changes across Earth's temperate and tropical regions and take stock of carbon stored in forests worldwide. Many scientists, engineers, and technicians have worked for years to make ICESat2 a reality. I want to thank the NASA and commercial teams that have made today possible. Their dedication and commitment to advancing American leadership in science and space exploration is greatly appreciated.
This is the NLM on the NLM net. I would now like to conduct the final launch readiness poll for the ICESat2 mission. We've got great weather. Range is clear. Spacecraft is doing superbly. Upper level winds have done really well recently. We're green till 1335 Zulu. Great news there. We've coordinated a new T0 of 1302 Z with the range, and that has been approved. And we have evaluated the second stage bottles, both helium and nitrogen. Nitrogen is back in temp, and we're waiting for helium to come back in very shortly. So we are in good shape right now to proceed toward count. So with that, I'd like to conduct our launch readiness poll, beginning with NASA CE.
NASA CE, go.
SMA.
SMA's go.
SMD.
SMD is go. Godspeed, ICESat2.
NASA MEM.
NASA MEM is go.
LSP.
LSP is go.
NLM copies. The NASA team is go for the ICESat2 mission on Delta II.
Yeah, I think the team is ready, and we'll hear launch conductor Scott Barney talking to his engineering team and the NASA launch management team. And coming out of that hold, we hope to get a proceed to launch from ULA's launch director, Tom Heater. So, we'll step out and let Scott Barney take over the pole here in just a few seconds.
L-minus 7 minutes.
Status check to proceed with terminal count. Report go, no go. Talker.
Go.
FSC.
Go.
Prop 1.
Go.
Prop 2.
Go.
PEA.
Go.
PEA.
Go.
VP.
Go.
SCM.
Go.
SYS.
Go.
FAC.
Go.
ATC 3.
Go.
Timer.
Go.
HYE.
Go.
FMA.
Go.
SSC.
Go.
SSP.
Go.
TM1.
Go.
TM2.
Go.
VE.
Go.
ATC 2.
Go.
VSE.
Go.
OSM.
Go.
FACA.
Go.
GE.
Go.
RC.
Clear to proceed.
NASA TM.
Go.
USO.
Go.
AC.
Go.
Launch Director.
LC, you have permission to launch.
Proceeding with the count.
So,
Yeah, we're at T-minus 1 minute and counting. We're going to let you just enjoy this. Again, you're watching live coverage of the final launch of the Delta II, lifting ICESat2 into space this morning.
Water flow. 45.
LC, launch enable to flight.
Flight.
100%
ATC-3,
launch.
main power disable on.
On.
35.
Hydraulics are go.
30.
Status check.
Go Delta 2.
Go ICESat2.
20. 15.
Topping go.
14.
Green board.
13.
there's
12,
that green board call.
11,
That is great.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff of the final Delta II, launching nearly 3 decades of science research and exploration missions, lifting ICESat2 on a quest to explore the polar ice sheets of our constantly changing home planet. Liftoff of the final Delta II.
Mach 1, Delta 2 is now supersonic.
Science research and exploration missions, lifting ICESat2 on a quest to
Continuing to see good chamber pressure on the RS-27, both veneer engines as well. Seeing consistent fuel and oxidizer injector pressures as well. And at T plus 46 seconds, max Q, maximum dynamic pressure. And at 57 seconds in, we have web burnout on the solid rocket motors, seeing good responses. And we have burnout on all 4 motors. And Delta will hold on to those motors for an additional 20 seconds prior to jettison. Now 1 minute, 20 seconds in, standing by for motor jettison. And we have good indication of jettison of all 4 solid rocket motors. Now 1 minute, 30 seconds into flight. Continuing to see good chamber pressure on the RS-27, good chamber pressures on both veneer engines as well. Seeing stable pressures on the fuel and oxidizer injector pressures. Vehicle body rates looking stable. Now 1 minute, 55 seconds into flight. And 2 minutes, 10 seconds in. And the booster bi-level charge is fired to maintain necessary ullage pressure in the booster. LOX tank ullage pressure response looks good. 2 minutes, 25 seconds in. The booster is now beginning powered flight guidance. Body rate response looks good. And just under 2 minutes now remaining until MECO. And at 2 minutes, 45 seconds into flight, continuing to see good performance on the RS-27 main engine and good chamber pressures on both veneer engines as well. Vehicle body rates remain very stable. Now passing 3 minutes into flight. Continuing to see good ullage pressures on the fuel and oxidizer tanks. Good fuel and oxidizer inlet pressures as well. And now 1 minute remaining until MECO. Three minutes, 30 seconds into flight. RS-27 continuing to perform well. Stable chamber pressure and fuel and oxidizer injector pressures, and seeing good stable pressures on both veneer engines. Now passing 4 minutes into flight. Approximately 20 seconds remaining until engine cutoff. And booster has stopped active guidance in preparation for MECO. Standing by for engine cutoff. And we have cutoff of the RS-27. Vernier engines continuing to burn as expected. Standing by for vernier engine cutoff. And we have good vernier engine cutoff. And now 4 minutes, 45 seconds into flight. We've seen good separation of stage 1 and 2. Approximately 1 minute remaining until SECO 1. Now passing 10 minutes, 20 seconds into flight. Seeing a slight decay in the thrust chamber pressure and fuel and oxidizer feed line pressures as to be expected for the later portion of the first burn. And standing by for engine cutoff in approximately 10 seconds. Now passing 11 minutes into flight. And we have SECO. Second stage engine cutoff.
Actually, there's some live video right now from the front of the Delta II second stage. And hopefully we can maintain that signal. That will be really, really cool to see.
Yeah, so we are expecting things to get a little rowdy behind us when we see spacecraft separation or get confirmation. There are some other control rooms where they'll be more focused, kind of making sure that we get through spacecraft health, which doesn't come until later in the countdown. So if it does get a little noisy, that's what's going on, is it's excitement.
Yes. Yeah, this is, like I said earlier tonight, this is what it's all about right here, is the spacecraft and getting them on orbit to start performing their science. So this is really nice to be able to see the ICESat2 spacecraft on the front of the second stage as it's in space, getting ready for final separation here in about a minute and 20 seconds.
Now approaching.
Yeah, and again, just to preview some of the other parts of the countdown, or part of the launch sequence that will be coming up the flight, we'll see spacecraft separation. A little bit later, we'll have the solar arrays deploying, and we'll also have a third burn of the second stage to get us in position to deploy the CubeSats, which is a big part. And then after that point, we're hearing we're going to get spacecraft health report, and that's when we're hoping to really kind of declare victory over the entire flight today.
Yeah, absolutely. Spacecraft separation is just another milestone. The teams will still be focused, waiting to hear the initial state of the spacecraft and make sure everything's good. So I think the teams are looking like they're all standing up and getting a little excited here. I think everybody's on edge, still focused on what's going on. But we're getting closer and closer here to spacecraft separation, and glad to see that we still have live video.
Yeah, we're about 20 seconds out now, so we'll kind of just stand by and watch and listen.
And standing by for spacecraft SEP shortly. And we have good indication of separation of the ICESat2 spacecraft.
Awesome. That is great. That's what we want to see. That motion there you see on your screen is the spacecraft drifting away from the second stage. So that looks good. Obviously, we'll get full reports later, but definitely like a lot of people breathing another sigh of relief. There's several of those that happened today.
It's just another milestone. We still have a little bit more to go. And like we said, verify that solar panels are out and get that state of health. As you had mentioned earlier, they want to get into that light, 24-hour light, and be ready to go. So we're waiting to see that. We see the teams at the Remote Launch Control Center, NASA's launch manager Tim Dunn and his team celebrating the separation of ICESat2 there. That's a very historic moment for this final Delta II.